Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A. He's coming, with his commentary.
This sit-down between Max Kellerman and Bill Simmons has one of the best segments I've seen in an interview.
Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
And in this video, we'll talk about what happened during his departure at ESPN and how Stephen A. Smith was involved. My name's Toph Leon. Let's jump into it. Max Kellerman was without a doubt one of the coolest personalities on air, and I say that while I disagreed with him freaking half the time, more than half the time. A lot of the time I felt myself saying, dude, I cannot stand you, man. And then he would say something where I'd be like, okay, that actually makes sense, but still, bro, just you're wild.
I want Iguodala.
And yes, that comment still goes down as one of the most asinine statements ever, and I do wonder if he really meant that. And I mean, after hearing this, he did, but it's like, bro, right off the bat, Max Kellerman is not holding back at all, as he knows, and he's basically talking about how powerful of an opponent he is in a debate, how well prepared he is, and he's basically saying Stephen A. Smith was not willing to go toe-to-toe with someone like him on a daily basis. And to be honest, he completely understands, because he recognizes just how exhausting it is to have to just continuously deal with someone like Max. We all watch Max Kellerman. I'm pretty sure he's aware just how acutely annoying and intelligent he is, just as much as we are.
If you're doing a debate show and you're a competitive person, yeah, why would you want me as a partner? You want to go 15 rounds every day with Mohammed Kellerman? That's just bad. It's embarrassing.
And so it would only make sense long-term for Stephen A. Smith eventually to want partners who just aren't going to be as demanding as Max is when it comes to figuring out their rebuttals and what they're going to talk about on the show. I kind of feel like this might be a veiled insult on all the characters, all the people that were on the show after him, and how they just weren't ever really quite as equipped as he was. One thing you notice in this video is that Max Kellerman does a really good job. He always did this with his debates, with his points, his perspectives. He always talks about, hey, this is my perspective, how I experienced it. And that's just such a green flag in terms of when it comes to figuring out just how trustworthy or credible that person is.
That's one aspect of it. There are others. In other words, that's what I could tell you from my point of view.
And then they go on to talk about something that probably makes the most sense, and how Stephen A. Smith recognized just how powerful he is as a brand could become if it was just him, if everything revolved around him instead of a duo like they had right at the time. It's really no secret, when you stop splitting something with someone, you get doubled how much you had before. Then we get some actually insane information when he tells us that when Mike and the Mad Dog broke up, he was initially supposed to go across town and work with Mike Francesa, but then Mike told him, hey man, if Stephen A. Smith is doing fine on his own, I'm fine on my own, I don't need you. Talk about a double bummer. Not only did he get dumped by ESPN and Stephen A. Smith, the opportunity that he had pretty much set up for himself to move on with got shot down because of the precedent that Stephen A. Smith had set there. That's just honestly, man, it seems like Max Kellerman got shafted so many times. I mean, for instance, here, Max is clearly one of the most self-aware people when he says this.
We're getting away with it. If you're in this business, you're getting away with it. Shh, pocket them. Shh, we're talking about sports.
And that's a thought even I have as a low-level nobody creator, that it's just so cool. I get to talk about, subjects that I love with people that, care about it too, and sometimes deal with really rude comments. But again, it's such a privilege. And I appreciate you for watching this video. Genuinely, if you're here right now, if you're seeing this, you're awesome. You're genuinely awesome. And I hope you have an amazing holiday season, a great new year, and just everything in between. Merry Christmas. This interview also gives us a great look into the dynamics, the template, the structure of how these shows are created, because we're always thinking there's no way that Max Kellerman believes this every single time. Like, there's no way Nick Wright believes this every single time, but the way he breaks it down, it absolutely was what they thought.
Well, you're just making it up. You're doing it for TV. No, what you do is you take a topic, and a good producer will start to drill down on the topic and say, okay, so you agree about this. So Mahomes is a great quarterback, but what does he do well and what does he not? And you keep going down until until you get a divergent opinion. Well, actually, I think he is good at this. No, I think actually the most important player on that. We both think this is going to win. This team's going to win the championship. We both think this is why. Drill down. But no, actually, the key player is, other than the superstar, is this guy. No, it's that guy. Actually, Draymond Green is the second most important player on the Warriors, right?
And if we're being honest, this sounds absolutely exhausting, and I can't help but feel Max Kellerman being released from this type of show, this hot take show, was genuinely a blessing on his life and his future, because he must have been so stressed out, not only with working with someone who hated him, because Stephen A. Smith just did not like him. But I think one of the most interesting parts about them talking about Stephen A. Smith is just that how Max understood at the end of the day, the most important part is to put on a good show. And for some reason, Stephen A. Smith just could not let go of his disdain for him, and it was just present every single show. And at some point it was like, okay, I gotta go. I think we can all remember at some point or another watching that show and thinking to ourselves like, damn dude, is this an act, or like do they generally just not like each other? But to be honest, that seems even dumber, because Stephen A. Smith should know that that's Max's job. He's doing a great job of coming up with all these ideas on a regular basis, and you're mad at him for making you have to do your job? But there is that thought process. He knows he could do a lot less work and get paid a lot more, so why wouldn't he? And I feel like Stephen A. Smith must have started losing a lot of fans at this point, because Max Kellerman, again, he does have a strong fan base. People really appreciated him. He generally was half that show. And we all saw what was happening. Just as Bill Simmons said, we saw how he was treating Max Kellerman, and we saw that Max was just trying to keep it professional, and just Stephen A. Smith was just getting pissy and then just being rude. I mean, you're making millions of dollars to talk about sports, people that are playing children's game. And so again, it's just Max Kellerman really is the man, and I hope he does find his way on another sports show that's here. Like, I would love to see him on First Things First. Actually, wow, Max Kellerman on First Things First would be kind of interesting. And of course, this video would be remiss if we didn't discuss him and his Tom Brady statement with that cliff. And he figured, statistically, he was going to be right. Like, how could he not be right? Because it's happened to every single person. But again, one of the most self-aware sports journalists out there, and I respect him for that. And this segment is wrapped up with a comment that I think is a great rebuttal for so many people who just love that meme where it's like you versus the entire world talking about a certain subject. This is so true. All right, that's enough you have for today. You know the deal. Hit that subscription button. And as always, go out there and do something great. And if you're going to watch another video, I wouldn't mind if you watch the one on Kobe. Why his 81 points is quite a bit better than Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points. Because it is. It is. It actually is. Well, watch it, then let me know what you think about it.